believe that God is calling us to connect our neighbors with the hope of the gospel. We want to connect with them in a meaningful way because relationships are how we're built, how we're created.
I've got to be honest, we really haven't gone out of our way until recently to reach out to neighbors.
We have never done anything neighboring related.
We were very excited to know that the church was doing a neighboring emphasis.
This church is so community oriented that we have been more aware about neighboring and being there for our neighbors.
Sharing Jesus, with neighbors and with the hope of the gospel really has challenged me.
We decided to do a block party for our neighborhood.
Throwing a block party would be a great way to just meet people that we didn't know.
We volunteered to be the first neighboring event at our house where we had folks over who were members of the church.
When my neighbor who lived alone, she broke her foot or ankle. And so I went over and said, let me do your yard work while you're hurt. Well, I didn't stop. I've done her yard work for the last 15 years.
We had new neighbors, so I thought, well, I'll paint a welcome card to them, so I did that.
So I went to Dunkin' Donuts and ordered even more donuts, and I delivered those to our neighbors and just attached a little note that said, "Hope these happy treats make you smile and have a great day."
I'd say we were a little apprehensive at first.
We would never have done something like that before.
I am one of those extroverts. I love an opportunity to invite you to my house.
Throughout, we kept stopping and saying, like, how nice is this? This is so great. And people kept talking about how nice and fun and what a great opportunity it was to meet people. We did it so that we could meet our neighbors, but we found out so many other stories about our neighbors meeting each other, and now they have relationships that they've formed and they're friends outside of us.
So we texted back and forth and we talked, and we found out that we grew up maybe a couple of miles away from each other.
To get to know people who have been members of the church for years, it was a real great opportunity for us to reach out and to connect.
It gives me a lot of pleasure to help people. It's just something I've always been happy to do.
For me, it was always easier to go on a mission trip, whether that was to Iowa, Kentucky, Ukraine, you name it. It was easier to go somewhere. Going across the street or next door is more difficult because that's going to be more of a lasting commitment.
As far as us, we're more familiar with people now, and it's not a great feeling when you don't know the person next to you.
One of the things I really enjoyed was during the event was seeing these new neighbors connect with each other. And I don't think that would have happened if we hadn't got the group together.
It was a great excuse, an opportunity to get to know others that live around you. It made us feel wonderful.
We have been told to love God and love our neighbor. The only way to love our neighbor is to get to know our neighbor.
We need to give back. We need to serve God by serving other people.
I think there's a lot of neighbors that you probably have that are just waiting for that invitation.
Do what's simple and what's doable.
Chips and queso and invite people over. Just something that simple.
There's something that you have in common with your neighbor. It could be a hobby interest. It could be a similar background.
The influence you have, you don't realize sometimes what it means. You'll be surprised what you can do. You might make a mess of it at first, but you'll get there.
If Easter is real, if Easter's true, then what does it mean for our neighbors?
If Easter is true, then we don't have to feel isolated.
It means we have a lot to tell them, a lot of joy to share, a lot of love to share.
If they haven't already, it's their chance. It's their chance to believe.
It's praying for your neighbors, it's helping out in your community, serving those that live right around you.
Jesus cared enough for us to give his life for us. So if he cared that much for us, then we need to care for the people that are around us, the people he puts in our lives.
It means salvation for anybody that wants it.